All right, guys, welcome back to Crypto Pride. My guest needs no introduction at all. You know the face, you know the name. He's my friend, but to you, he's your friend. Welcome to the Crypto Pride YouTube page. Appreciate you for showing up. Thank you. I love you. I love you.
Well, thanks for having me. This is fun. I always like chatting with people who do the same thing I do. It's always fun and exciting.
So for those that don't know about you, which should be everybody because you have over 78,000 subscribers. Wow. All I can say, congratulations on that accomplishment. That takes a lot of hard work. Believe me.
Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah. On one hand, it's one of those interesting things. It's funny. There's like a sliding scale, and it is all relative. Once upon a time, it took me 6 months to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, just putting in the hustling and getting in the time and stuff just to build that like first initial 1,000. That took 6 months. Some people takes longer than that. And I was like, wow, finally got to 1,000. Now it's 75 plus thousand. It's like this is crazy, but there's still people out there with 100,000 and 1,000,000, and so like a sliding scale. It's like I'm certainly really grateful and appreciate what I've accomplished, but I'm also keenly aware that there's still it's such a daunting task to even grow past this and stuff. So, but yeah, either way, I'm very excited to be where I'm at today.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, it was like my goal was like get 100 subscribers. Then it's like I need to get monetized. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers. Then after I got to like 1,000 subscribers, like I just lost focus of the subscribers pretty much. I think you become a better YouTube creator after you get past 1,000 subscribers, because in the beginning you just mainly focus on getting subscribers, really.
Yep.
Which brings me to a point. I'm going to test your memory here. Do you remember? Probably like 8 months ago. I want to say like February, March. You put out a tweet saying to YouTube creators, upcoming YouTube creators. You said, "Would you like me to critique your YouTube page?" And I was one of the people that you chose. Do you remember that?
No? Yeah,
you do?
I didn't look this up beforehand. I'm just using my brain power here, but I'm pretty sure I said something about your thumbnails.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I don't think it was necessarily a tweet about like critiquing other channels. I think it was just sharing channels. But then just being me, I gave some unsolicited advice, for better or for worse. So I'm glad that when I did that for you, you were very kind and receptive of.
Yes.
You did not ask for it.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at it. I was like, he's right. Before I was putting all these I put these thumbnails out, but they have like a bunch of writing on it, too much stuff on them. Like you said, it's too much stuff on them. Then once I made that change, then I actually saw a difference in, my viewership. So I want to thank you for that. I mean, that's something you didn't have to do. That was just out the kindness of your hearts, and I appreciate it. I just want to let you know that.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm really excited that was actual good advice for you and stuff. And yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know. It's like we're all in this stuff together. So if happy to share, and it's cool to see actual growth and results from stuff like that. But yeah, it's all fun. It's like we're all doing the same thing, all trying to do the same, have the same goals and stuff. And so yeah.
And speaking of your tweets, I just want to say I love your tweets. I don't know how you
following. Yeah,
I was like, how does he come up with this stuff? These motivational tweets. Is this something you get? Do you do that at breakfast or something while you're drinking coffee and just sit back and like, what can I say today? Because I mean, those tweets you do. I'm hoping they're not out of a book or anything. I hope they come from you, but they're very inspirational for me at least.
Well, cool. It's good to hear. Yeah. So I mean, it's not. I will say it is not all. It doesn't come naturally. And some days, if I don't tweet or only tweet one or two, it's because I just didn't have anything interesting to share with the world that day. But no, I will get my cup of coffee and I will sit in front of my laptop on a specific day of the week, and I will try to batch write them. I'll read my previous tweets. I'll read what other people are having success with. And then I'll think, how does this apply to me, my audience? And then come up with my own tweets and write them out. And I've got my own kind of little formats and stuff I follow after doing it for this long. But it's fun. I mean, it is fun, but it's challenging. It's like YouTube and Twitter. You know, these are all challenges, just in different ways. But yeah, I try to batch write them all at once, and then I schedule them ahead of time. So whenever I'm feeling that like creative flow for that stuff, I just knock as many as I possibly can.
Right. I was like, he should put these in a calendar, like have a calendar for each day. One of your tweets. I thought that's what I was just thinking about. I was like, that'd be kind of cool.
Maybe that's my first merch.
Yeah, like just to have a whole count, because you probably have like at least what, a couple hundred tweets at least.
Oh, thousands, I think.
Yeah, so you can probably fill out the whole calendar. That's just one of my ideas out the way. I thought that was kind of cool. I think I just need a calendar, put them on desk, and have this is tweets, very like inspirational tweets.
Yeah, well, that's another like little hidden secret is sometimes I'll look back on, because I've tweeted thousands of times, I'll look back on ones that didn't perform like I thought they might, and then I'll delete them and I'll copy and paste them and I'll rephrase them or rewrite them and then try that idea again. And then maybe it hits this time. It's like, that's the funny thing about YouTube. You put a video out and it can live forever, or at least months or years if you do it right, if you have evergreen content. Twitter, you post something, and if it like is super viral, it might be super viral for 2 to 3 days max. And then it's like dead to the world. It's gone. Everyone forgets it exists. The Twitter algorithm moves on, and it's just whatever the hot new thing is. So if you want to dip back into your past and stuff and like rewrite things or rephrase things, and it's like it's just kind of a ever evolving loop of endless content.
Yeah. Another tip I picked up off of you is speaking of YouTube, is that I started after I seen your AMA, I think with Jonathan Sellers, how you I think it was with Jonathan Sellers, maybe somebody else. I think I was watching.
I did one with him, yeah.
Yeah. You say that you rewatch your videos.
Oh,
and if they're good to you, that means that they're actually pretty good. And I just started that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, he's pretty right. Like if you like the video, then mostly everybody else gonna like the video as well.
Yeah, sometimes I'll watch my not super well performing ones, and it's like a couple minutes in, I'm like, and I'm bored with myself. I'm like, well, if I'm bored with me, because we're all of us, no matter how selfless we are, there's some little element of like narcissism built into every human being where we like to look at ourselves in the mirror or whatever, take your pick. So if we are boring ourselves, if we are going against that innate human nature, it's like, well, maybe I just made a bad video, or maybe I didn't keep people's attention in this part effectively. How can I fix that? And then I make detailed lists and I go, how do I improve the next one? And I chat with my editor, who I work with very closely on all this stuff, and go back and forth to make the next one better.
Yeah, you do a good job at editing too, by the way.
Well, that's all my video editor. All credit to Greg. Yeah, he's a rock star. I work with him very closely. I mean, I call him my video editor, but we collaborate on thumbnails and titles and scripts and the edit and everything. We work very closely together. Right.
Let's get to some, I guess, DeFi questions, I guess you could say. Why are you so bullish on Bitcoin? I mean, I really don't pay attention to Bitcoin, but you make me like want to invest in Bitcoin. Well, I'm like, I got to, because you know why? Because I know you're so bullish on Flux, and I seen when you first started Flux, how low was the price, and now it is today, and how much money you probably made off of Flux. It's like, well, you didn't make it till you actually sell it, but the progress I seen that you have with Flux, and you're doing the same exact thing with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Why are you so bullish on Bitcoin?
Like things like Flux and other positions, I do have, depending on how bullish I am, I will continue holding for future price targets I have. But like things like Flux, I mean, it's not easy to like share every step of the way, because I don't make constant like video updates. But I do sell and take profits along the way. Like when it was over $2, I was taking some profits and stuff like that, with portions of it that I wanted to sell. So yeah, I mean, I do try to like practice what I preach, but also try to let people know it's like, you have to like take some profits at some point. But Bitcoin specifically, the reason I'm so bullish is, I mean, it's like the U.S. economy right now is like a major reason why I am. We inflate and print this currency to death, and I see only destruction in its future. I mean, right now, the U.S. dollar and maybe one other fiat currency around the globe have ever lasted this long. They're the longest running fiat experiments in existence. No other, they all fail at some point before they hit this mark. So right now we're in uncharted fiat territory, and I am a strong believer that just endlessly printing it is only going to destroy it, completely remove all of its value. I mean, we've been seeing we're 8+% inflation rate this year, and the value of the dollar is lower than ever in terms of what it can buy you. So when I first kind of realized the power and beauty of Bitcoin being this finite thing that you have to put in this proof of work to get to make new currency. And once that 21 million are mined, well, I mean the 21st million Bitcoin, that won't be mined for another like 109 years or something like that. But when we finally get there, that's it. The code does not support the creation of any further Bitcoin. So it's this hard, finite asset that has the longest track record of any crypto out there, has the greatest moat as far as adoption and overall network effect on the planet, has the one of the world's most crazy powerful supercomputers backing it. And I just see that I think it's going to be a future world reserve currency or future world reserve asset. And I think it's going to be the backing of all these settlement layers behind all the world's transactions, and there'll be stuff built on top of it. So just based on all this stuff and just seeing what it's done so far, in every bear market, the newspapers, how old am I? The news articles and news shows all say Bitcoin's dead, it's crashed, it's not going to recover, this is the end for Bitcoin, and it just keeps coming back bigger and better than it ever was before every single cycle. So I just kind of I've taken all that stuff in and I've gone, I believe in the future of this thing. And so I've dedicated a big chunk of my net worth and my crypto portfolio to it, and I only want to increase that in the future. And I've also, to speak to it recently, the craziness in which, know that I've drunk the Kool-Aid, and I am highly biased. But I just spent about $100 and something thousand in the past 4 or 5 months on Bitcoin miners. So I'm heavily invested in this, at least for myself, in context. So believe what I have to say or not, know that I'm highly biased and I want it to succeed, and I'm not an unbiased party in all this. But yeah, I love Bitcoin. There's
how do you feel about Ethereum?
Ethereum is one I have never been crazy big on, because it's modeled in the very exact opposite of Bitcoin in so many ways. It is an infinite number of Ethereum can be created. Now, they say it's finite because they're slowing down the emission rate, how much Ethereum is created on a regular basis. But the supply, there is no supply cap in the code currently. Maybe there will be one day, but currently it's infinite Ethereum can exist. But there is burning mechanisms, and there is recently with the ETH merge, they did slow down how much Ethereum is made on a regular basis. So that makes me a little more excited about it. But ultimately, the reason I don't love it as much as something like Bitcoin is they're so fundamentally different how they started. Bitcoin, anonymous person or group of people launched it into the world, and it just kind of took off on its own. No one knows who they were. There was no, you didn't have to buy a token at this token launch. It was announced to everybody. It just was out there in the internet, internet tubes for whoever wanted to find it. Whereas Ethereum was an ICO. It was, hey, let's publicize this thing, buy into it. We got some venture people in this. We got a bunch of rich people into it, buying these different rounds at different rates and stuff like that. And just fundamentally, I don't love that. And also, it is highly centralized. Ethereum has had moments where the chain has been rolled back because it suited the majority holders of it, whereas you cannot do that with Bitcoin, for better or for worse. But all that said, I do like Ethereum. I think Ethereum is here to stay, and most of the stuff that's being built in crypto is being built on Ethereum. So I am on the path right now to get an Ethereum validator node, 32 Ethereum.
Oh, wow.
I don't already have one. Maybe I should have already had one by now, but I will probably have one by end of year, beginning of next year. So I do like it, just don't like it nearly as much as Orange Coin. Yeah. You
got a price target for Bitcoin? Your personal price target? Will you say that in the future?
Long term? Oh, yeah. Well, again, maybe I'm a crazy person, but I think it's easily a $500,000 to $1 million coin.
Wow.
I think at the very minimum, Bitcoin is a better gold. It's a digital gold. And if Bitcoin erodes all of gold's market cap of $11 trillion or something like that, Bitcoin will be just under $500,000 per coin. So just from taking over gold's market cap without becoming a world reserve currency, without becoming a world reserve asset, without becoming the underlying settlement layer across all financial services, just taking over gold, which I think is possible, that's $500,000 Bitcoin right there.
Nice. Now, another question is how important it is for my viewers, how important it is for diversification. when it comes to investing in crypto?
I think it's very important depending on a number of factors. If you're starting with $500 to invest in a month, it's not important. Diversification is a protection mechanism. In crypto, it can be a growth mechanism depending on how diversified you are and what you're diversified into. And then also at that point, it's arguing, are you actually diversified? But with crypto, diversification is really just a safety mechanism, because for smaller amounts of money, if you lose that $500, does it matter to you? Is it materially going to change your life? But if you have $100,000, that goes to zero. Is that a problem for you? And if it is, well, then that's where you need to have it across a bunch of different assets. But also in DeFi specifically, and all the really ultra highly risky stuff, that's an area where maybe even with smaller amounts, you want to be diversified, because one, they can all kind of take off, but two, they can all, or a lot of them can go to zero. So it depends on what assets within crypto we're talking about. Like I would say putting all your money into Bitcoin is fairly safe in crypto terms versus putting all your money into a brand new DeFi high yield project that just launched last week. But at the same time, in the big scheme of things, it's all varying degrees of risk. It's kind of a tough subject to broach, but I like it. Yeah,
I'll say I don't think anything's really safe. Like I said, I'm getting flashbacks to the days when we used to remember saying USDC was safe, put it in Voyager 38%. So nothing is safe, So it's like nothing's really safe. You just got to be,
And nothing in investing is safe. And I think it's important to remember, even with index funds, in my mind, are they safe? Yeah. In my mind, are they one of the safest places you can put your money in all of investing? Yeah, of course. But are they inherently, to their core, actually safe? No. I mean, all investing has some inherent risk. Just some has a lot less risk than other things. And so it's just kind of, and usually that risk is rewarded with higher rewards, depending on greater the risk, the higher the reward, but the greater the risk, the higher the chance of losing all your money. Right. So it's all a big sliding scale of risk. And some people like to be on the far side of it and only index funds or real estate or something.
Right.
Some people are, creeping towards the middle where they do dip their toes into crypto, but it's only 10% of the portfolio and it's only in Bitcoin. And then there's other people in the far end of the spectrum where all of their money is in all bleeding edge DeFi stuff. And at any moment's notice, they could lose everything or become a decamillionaire in a year or something like that. It's wherever your comfort levels are and your knowledge.
Right. How do you feel about I guess the impending regulation on crypto? You think it's gonna be good for crypto or bad?
I'm kind of I'm a very middle of the road political person, in that I'm very much aligned with libertarians and stuff. I'm not like a crazy libertarian, but I'm just kind of like, let's hands off, like as long as we're not hurting each other, let's people do what they want to do. So I don't love regulation, but I recognize in the space of crypto, it's going to happen, whether I like it or not. And so in that case, I hope that the regulation that does happen is healthy regulation. And so I guess in a way I'm kind of for it because I know it's going to happen. So I want it to be, I want to be vocal, and I want to be learning, and watching as closely as I can. So it is actually healthy regulation. And I feel like some of the stuff I have seen proposed has been fairly promising. So we'll see, but I think it's inevitable. So I just hope it's all really good and spurs on progress in the space and doesn't try to kill it.
All right, now, what advice would you give a newbie just getting into crypto?
So I mean, it's so tough to be a newbie in crypto. Everything is shiny and everything is exciting, and it's and so little. I mean, honestly, it's no one wants to do it, but it's like just learn as much as you can before you put any money into it. And if you don't go that route, then prepare yourself as quickly as you possibly can for losses, and then once you have losses, try to be as stand back from the whole thing and take a look at the whole picture and go, okay, that happened. I think there's something here. How can I not give up? How can I learn from these losses, these mistakes? I think inevitably most newbies are going to have to learn some hard lessons in crypto. That's just crypto is ruthless. It's the Wild West. But yeah, learn as much as you can and just do whatever you can to spend as much time and make yourself as successful as possible. Just spend as much time in the space as you possibly can, because the longer you are in crypto, the more successful you are likely to be. Because most people are flash in a pan. They jump in bull market. They put money in. They don't sell at the right time. It all crashes. They sell when it all crashes. They get frustrated, get angry. They get out and they give up. And that's the end of it. Whereas I did all that, but I just, instead of that giving up part, I just said, nope. Yeah, there's something here. How can I learn? And then fast forward 5 years later, you have to have that long-term mindset. I am considerably more successful than I was 5 years ago. And I feel like my next 5 years are going to be even better because there's all kinds of wonderful lessons I just learned even in this cycle. And so you have to be really self-aware and willing to learn.
Now, outside of crypto, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, a lot of my time is spent with the channel and Twitter and crypto and stuff. But for fun, I do play some video games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, once or twice, one or two nights a week. I have a couple friends, longtime friends that I play with.
Any game specific?
Dota 2.
I never heard of that.
Okay. That will mark me as an ultra nerd, I'm sure. Aside from that, I mean, I do normally hang out with friends and all that kind of stuff. Hang out with my wife. We go enjoy traveling. We enjoy going out to eat and stuff like that. And then I have a number of hobby things. I mean, I do lots of DIY and I read a lot of books and normal stuff, I guess.
Now, what is your favorite project right now? I know you're going to say Flux. You may even say Horde. Are you still in the pre-search? What is it?
My favorite project. I mean, my favorite of all time is still, if you can call it a project, it's still Bitcoin. But I'm still love Flux a ton. Still big into that, and still have my pre-search nodes. I have 40 something nodes now, I think.
Wow, I just remember when you had 11.
Oh yeah, well, I've just been buying more and compounding more. Horde has been great. Horde is certainly on the very far into the risk spectrum, in my opinion. It has worked out very well for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work out well for the next people who get into it. But I am optimistic. They're doing cool things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any favorites. I like all those I spoke. Anything I've been talking about on my channel lately, I've been excited about.
And why are you not in Drip?
Well, I am in Drip.
Oh, okay. I was like, how could he's one of the biggest YouTubers? How is he not in Drip? He never talks about it.
I started a Drip just for my community Sleep Money Club, and I put a team I don't know, $500 of my own money into it or something, just to get it started and buy the correct amount of B Reap or whatever it's called to have, so that our members could then jump into it. But honestly, I mean, I just did that for all of them and stuff. I'm not personally a believer in Drip, even though everyone all the time in my comments and replies on Twitter tells me it's the most life-changing thing and it's gonna melt everyone's faces and the world is gonna change because of it and the returns are amazing. I just look at the chart and I'm like, this inspires no confidence. And in my opinion, it's just it's full-on pyramid scheme, Ponzi scheme. Which, I mean, a lot of the things I've been in have been that, and you can make money, but the catch with those things, you get in early to make the real money. But I do recognize people can still, I guess, technically make more than they put in, because it's such a high payout per day and it's not going down that fast, but is going down. I don't know. I just don't really believe in the future of it.
So you're not into the animal farm or anything like that either, huh?
No, I'm not. The only thing I have any money in is Drip Faucet, if that's the name for it. Yeah.
Have you heard of Seifu X, upcoming blockchain?
I bought Seifu. I don't know what price it was before all the controversy, before the big drop and everything. And I doubled my money in Seifu, and then I sold it all. So I don't have any Seifu anymore. What
do you think about the blockchain? Because you know about the develop a blockchain.
So my take on this is the same as my take on any of these projects: Strong or Red Light Node District or Vapor or whoever wants to make their own chains. It's like, one, everybody wants to make their own chain. So what's unique about that? But two, you then have to convince other people, companies, projects, developers to then build on your specific chain and not on Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche,
Right.
Binance. Take your pick of everything that's actually going to be around in a decade potentially. Well, I mean, some of those Solana, I don't know. Some of those I don't know if they'll be around in a decade. We'll see. But at least in the next year or two, why would somebody build on, Seifu Chain, like of all things?
Auto staking, auto rebasing, auto compounded blockchain, the first of its kind.
But you can build all these things on a number of different things. Anyways, I just don't see how they're actually going to incentivize people to do it. And most of these, unfortunately, are built only on Ponzi-nomics, and they're hoping that if they build their own chain and they bring people in, that then they will have cash flow to actually pay out the payouts instead of needing new people for the payouts and stuff. So it's a lot of like hopeful building. And I'm not saying they can't be successful doing it. I'm sure someone will be successful. Maybe it is Seifu, or maybe it's Red Light, or maybe it's not going to be Strong. Maybe it is Strong. I don't know. I'm very bearish on Strong. I let my nodes expire, but maybe one of them will crack the code and do it successfully. I just don't personally believe in any of those enough to put my own money there. I'm having enough success elsewhere that I don't see the point for myself.
Okay. Next is I know you're also big on the Musk miners.
Oh yeah.
How can somebody that doesn't have, I guess, that much money but they want to get into Bitcoin mining? I know you probably suggest buying this. I know I seen when you're buying starting off with a small rig. Is that still the best way to go, or should I go the Musk miner route?
Well, I mean, Bitcoin mining is tough. Bitcoin mining is expensive. It's loud. Requires a lot of power. It's extremely hot and tons of heat. So like mining at home, unless your electricity rate is like 9 cents a kilowatt hour or a lot less, and unless you have 220 volts set up like a dryer plug that you're not using for your dryer because you can't leave them at the same time.
Yeah.
And you have a dedicated space with the appropriate kind of ventilation. They don't need air conditioning, but they have to have airflow. Right. Then you probably shouldn't mine Bitcoin at home. The only way to mine Bitcoin these days is with the big ASIC machines. So in that case, if you want to go that route with Bitcoin mining, and you have the money, Musk miners, some kind of host out there. I like Musk miners, but whichever one you prefer, that's just the one I've visited and met them, and I can vouch for. That's the way to go. If you don't have $3,500 to $5,500 to buy a miner, then you want to maybe consider something, and I'm not affiliated with them. I don't own any. I don't know. I can't actually vouch for the project, but something like Hydro Whales, I know. Oh yeah, does Bitcoin mining via NFTs. Yeah. Now, for your money you put in, the profit you get back is a fraction of what would be if you were owning the miners outright yourself. But it is a way for smaller amounts of money to actually get a piece of the Bitcoin mining game. So there's that. Again, I don't personally have any money in those, so I can't vouch for them, but I know that they exist and potentially they could be a cool avenue for people. But there are some interesting ways. Or at the very, just buy Bitcoin. It's like if you really don't have the means to do the mining aspect of it and you want exposure, like just buy the asset. In my opinion, it's going to go up a lot over the next decade.
Okay. Now, do you buy Bitcoin on Binance or you just regularly buy it on the exchange?
Well, I buy in a lot of different places, but for a long time I was using River.com. I really like River. They're Bitcoin only broker. I can't actually access Binance. I'm in Texas, and unless they have changed it, Binance USA is not licensed in Texas yet. So I actually can't even use Binance. For a long time I used Coinbase, but I now use I'm gonna forget. It's the Winklevoss exchange. Why? I know.
I was thinking more like Pancake Swap. You buy the BTCB.
No, I don't actually buy any of the. Why am I blanking on this? Someone's gonna be screaming it at the. Anyways, oh my gosh. Gemini. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? Gemini. Okay. So I that's the one I've been using. I have it on an auto buy, so I don't ever actually go to the website. I always mix up Gemini and Kraken, which I do like Kraken a lot too. But Gemini has really low fees on their Gemini Trader or Gemini Pro account. Anyways, well, there you go.
Okay.
I remember the Winklevoss. I forgot the name of their exchange.
Right. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Let's talk to us about ZZ Money, Sleep Money Club. What can you tell the viewers about Sleep Money Club?
Yeah, so Sleep Money Club is a community. I started with my friend Colin, the Decade Investor. So if anybody knows,
I follow him on Twitter as well.
Yeah, so we started this back in January as just a way to like add extra value to folks who follow us. So it's like we. I mean, I think he does too, but I personally get so many DMs on Twitter. It's like hard for me to follow all of them. And so many emails and so many comments on the YouTube channel. So I was like, is there a way I can gate this and interact with people one-on-one to where I can actually not spend like all day long doing it with the DMs and stuff. So we created this paid community where people can actually ask me questions and I chat. I'm in there every single day, but I also share what I'm buying and when I buy it. I share my entire portfolio. I share my entire passive portfolio and all the things I'm in and out of and what I'm doing with the profits. And we also do exclusive live streams. We have a bunch of like teachers that we've actually paid and hired to be in there to like teach fundamentals of crypto and various things and options trading and crypto trade and all these various kind of cool things. So it's just like this one-stop shop crypto educational community where it's just like a bunch of like-minded people who are all geeking out on all this stuff at the same time. And me and other YouTubers are in there.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time like I told you before. I want to be about 30 minutes and under. I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to interview you. I appreciate it. And thanks. That's all I can say.
Well, thanks for having me and continued luck and success with your channel. And thanks to everybody who watched this video.
So, guys, if you like this video, you want to see more interviews from different influencers, put them in the comments below who you want me to interview. Because I like doing these kind of interviews, and I think you guys like them too. But hit that like and subscribe button, help support the channel. You can also join my 58 members that are actual channel members. So join the membership. You get exclusive perks that are going to actually start next 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for those perks for my members. You guys have a blessed day.